Hello and welcome to the Empowered Women series. My name is Marianne Elling. I'm a somatic womb mage. And what does that mean? I help women clear, connect, and heal their wombs by helping them embodying their queen energy. And so with me today is the woman who actually inspired the entire series. Her name is Sonja, and she truly is the queen of embodiment. So, Sonja, welcome. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh my God, you're so sweet. This is definitely still a title I'm rising into embracing within myself. Thank you so much for having me always in your space. It's always such an honor and such a gift, these 3 years of journeying with you, and now finally having also experienced your magic, your medicine, in combination with the embodiment. I'm from all the way from Europe now, based in Bali. It's been a long way of deepening into the body, deepening into the energy body, reclaiming really the truth within, and all my dreams and desires that have unfolded that led me to being here and having, met you in person, hugging you and dancing with you, and yeah, putting clay on each other. And it's been such an incredible transformational journey, and I'm blessed to be gifted in also holding spaces similar to you for movement medicine, to connect with the soul through movement, to really anchor into our truest soul essence through movement meditation, somatics, and really cultivating the awareness so that we can actually not just fully express ourselves in our realness, in our playfulness, in our weirdness, in our authenticity, vulnerability, but also to really know what we're worth, and lead from that soul knowing of what feels right and what doesn't feel right. And definitely the journey with you has been deep in anchoring more into what feels right for me and what my body needs, and leading more from life from this point of connection, rather than from this is the outline structure and I'm just gonna be a student and then I'll just do this and I'll just continue this path, and I have no idea about the future because I never actually had any awareness of how much we can uncover through the body and through this awareness of the womb. It's just incredible how much power and beauty reveals itself in our visions of life and our visions and sense of purpose of being here. Yeah, I can always make long sentences. It's not working on shortening. Good
So
thing you have questions for me.
for me, your life is a reflection of the way you embody life, and it truly has been to witness you. That alone is empowering. So I want to know from you, for you, what does it mean to be an empowered woman?
For me, being an empowered woman means, for one, continuously holding connection to the body and its wisdom, and continuously staying open and curious to what the body's wisdom is revealing, and what else is there, and what else we can discover and learn about it. And empowerment to me means having choice and being aware of our choice to see the stories, to hold our visions, to lead towards our visions in the deepest times of fear and self-doubt, and holding that vision and holding the awareness of what we're capable of course, based on our experiences of ways that we, for example, for me, I would maybe not trust myself as much if I hadn't experienced certain synchronicities and overcome challenges and had experiences of ways that I'm loved and supported on my path naturally. Yeah, if we don't have a connection to the evidence that already presents itself in our lives, then it can be challenging. But to me, being empowered is also seeing that yeah, we create this reality through our connection to our bodies, and it's not just through the body, it's through the soul, it's through our essence, the vulnerability, both the playful inner child and the powerful leader and teacher within, and the ever evolving student within, just being humble in the journey, and staying open and curious, really, and keeping our hearts open, always keeping our hearts open and coming back to opening and softening our hearts, because really love is what has brought us both here.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
It's like without that love bubble that that we have entered through the body, that is really what empowers feminine leaders and
Yes.
connects us with our body wisdom as well.
See what I mean? She's such an embodiment queen. So you've highlighted a few aspects of your empowerment story, but I want to hear from you. What is your empowerment story?
Damn, I've been trying to work on that one for months. Which one is it now?
If I witness you, I mean, you like, which one is it now? I'm like, have you seen what you've done? This woman just packed everything up and moved to Bali. Like, if that's not inspiring and empowering, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most empowering jumps. But I think the biggest one for me was over the course of deepening into this embodied connection and the soul and movement, this deconditioning journey of what does it feel like for me to be embodied in what I'm doing and what I'm passionate about. It's so easy to say, oh, just follow your highest joy. And we can easily like tell ourselves stories of staying in the safe journey. I think one of the biggest shifts for me was to say no to my master's degree and letting go of an identity that I was cultivating for years deeply, that all my value and all my self-worth was based on being that student and having grades, and all my my pride was in not having to repeat certain being kind of the perfect student, but like not like overachieving, but so good enough that I never had to repeat something, and that was my whole identity. And to realize, okay, well, now I've connected to my body, and now this status or this intellectual value I see is not all that I am. There is so much more, and there's the energy that I bring into a space, and there's the energy with which I hold my sisters, and there is my own expression that holds so much value, my own dance, never having considered myself always feeling a dancer, never acknowledging myself as a dancer. All these that was one of the biggest shifts. And to then say, well, okay, now I've overcome that. Now finally, it took me, I think, like 9 months or something to finally realize that my truth was already so clear. And I know other people have that, right, with staying in a marriage or and repeating those stories. But yeah, I think that was one of the biggest breakthroughs for me to let that go. And that after also having been in love and feeling heartbreak and realizing through both the heartbreak, actually realizing my worthiness of letting everything go. It was really an interesting realignment. Any breakdown can always be turned into a breakthrough. I deeply believe that over all the breakdowns that I've had that have just been kind of catapulting me, gathering momentum of like a big release and full power into the next version of myself being, coming into expression, more fullest expression.
The wisdom, the wisdom, the wisdom. You hold such deep wisdom. And I know a lot of women are going to be inspired by your story. So what advice do you have for women who are inspired by your story? What would you say to them about becoming empowered?
I would say just know that if you are inspired, that's because there's a resonance, there's a mirroring outside of you. Whoever is inspiring you holds a code, a soul code, a mirroring code that lives within you. That means you have that potential within you to also rise into that expression within yourself. And if that's through dance, or if you feel more attracted to the womb, or if it's a pain in your body that is leading you to connect with someone who you see is inspiring you and mastering that. For example, for me, it was with dance. I always wanted to be a dancer, but I felt so insecure in needing to be so perfect in choreographies, even though I loved them, but still feeling so the competition was just too much for me, and I didn't want to have to prove myself anymore. So for me, it was really seeing a dancer who was moving freely, and I thought, oh, actually, she moves so freely and improvises in a way that I don't see that I need to prove any kind of techniques to access that within myself and feel a level of beauty and a level of presence and a level of grace and love and abundance that I can see is resonating. And I felt like, whoa, that's for me. I feel that's for me. So that's what I picked that up actually from recently from some manifestation coach of whenever you see something that's resonating and that what you want, instead of like seeing, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Just telling yourself, that's for me, that's for me, that's for me. And that's especially with us, it to me, it felt crazy to, leave and move to the other end of the world. And then being here, it's not that crazy. It's just a choice, but we make it so much bigger because we place so much of the validation on what other people will think. And I think in this case, you can be surprised of how much more you can be supported and celebrated for choosing yourself instead of actually anticipating judgment from others for choosing yourself. I think we actually have more supporters than haters.
It's true. It's true. And who would you say your empowerment role model is?
I would say probably still Mana, our beloved Mana. And also, yeah, Mana for the way she always honors herself and her truth, and with grace and with acceptance, so much acceptance and creative expression. And who also inspires me is very much Chelsea, Joe Huntsman, and Oren Harris. In the level of devotion, the level of vulnerability in their leadership, the level of creativity, and oh my god, there are so many.
But I love that that's being more accepted as what leadership truly is. So my next question to you is, do you feel, because you coming out of the Womb with Me 9-month program that I run, do you feel womb wisdom empowered you? And if so, how? If it did, how?
Yeah, absolutely. The way it empowered me is in even more tuning into my body and getting curious about being curious about my body and being curious about my womb, especially, and curious in my awareness around how my womb is responding, what my womb is responding to, and still very much in the exploration phase, but feeling so empowered with the wisdom that you shared. And for example, at the moment, my topic has been around pleasure and really having the awareness of, okay, I know what it's like to do the yoni steaming, and I know how that will amplify my pleasure, and I know it's just a choice away for me to access deeper levels of pleasure and reconnect, and also trusting that where my body is at is where it's at, that I can accept where I am, and all of these kinds of symptoms that we sometimes have, that it's not crazy, or but actually we have so much evidence of how we can support our body in navigating that and trusting.
And so the next question I have, I find women are often on the fence with this program. They like feel called, but they're not quite sure. So what called you to diving into the womb wisdom?
I would say for me, it's been, I've been having an IUD for many years. So knowing that I have you and a sisterhood who will support me when I have that removed, and in this journey of kind of preparing basically my womb actually to let that go, which also means letting go of trauma and processing that. I am gathering all of this information to relate to my body when I don't have that anymore, and to relate to my natural cycle once I don't have that anymore. And really, it's just empowering to know, have as much awareness of our cyclical nature as possible, and really it really demystifies the deconditioning of these systems that we've grown up with, right? Because the debate of creating space in our lives for ourselves, it becomes so clear. And I feel the wisdom and the practices for me, at first, the wisdom really empowers us to see our worth and see our differences and embrace our differences. and really honor them and feel like, yes, I deserve this. I am different. I have certain different needs. And that is something, for example, in my relationship is super empowering. And I knew that this wisdom will also empower me to be a better partner, because without that, we're just like all kind of moving in the dark. And yeah, especially when it comes to, you know, hormonal waves and our energy levels. So yeah, that on the bodily, on the cognitive level of learning about all of the wisdom that you share inside. And then also your magic. I mean, I want to be in your space mainly because it's you holding the space, and because it's your magic. Like anytime I'm in your space, I can go deep. I feel so safe. You're the embodiment for me of like loving presence, and a loving presence that I wish to embody in my lifetime, and that is so healing. And your transmissions inside, that's what I wanted. I want to be able to listen to your voice every day and have access to your beautiful womb breath. And it's so, and you make it so simple and so accessible. And I think this is something, a wisdom that we hold for a lifetime and that we can pass on. It's just so invaluable to have this wisdom and this connection.
You're making my heart expand, expand, expand. Thank you, thank you. Because that is the vision. The vision is exactly what you've been talking about. I don't want women and the next generation to have to go through a lifetime of deconditioning. So, as you have heard, Sonja is the queen of embodiment. She's all about connecting to your body through movement. I have been in her spaces and working with her for a really long time. So what I will do is I'll put in the notes where you can find her, how you can work with her, and feel into your body, and you'll know. Just click on that Instagram, and the magic that comes up that she creates is literally phenomenal. She took a move earlier in the year to move from Germany to Bali, not knowing who, what, when, and how. So when she talks about trust and surrender, she fully embodies that in her life. So Son, I want to thank you for showing up today. I want to thank you for being in my space. You are an inspiration and you hold so much wisdom. And I know many women are going to be inspired by your story. So thank you for seeing, hearing, and feeling us. We'll see you for the next one soon. Bye-bye.